All right. Hi. So have you ever heard of a mustache called an anchor? A beard or a mustache design called an anchor? How about one called a toothbrush? A ducktail? There's one called a ducktail too. So there's some strange names for some beards or mustaches. They definitely are all something that you've heard before or have seen before. It may just not be called that because that's how these names are. Some of the more popular ones that you've probably heard of that you would recognize would be like a goatee, a handlebar, a full beard. There's one called a chin strap on here, a horseshoe, mutton chops. Some of the other ones might be a Garibaldi or a band holds that you've never heard of, but yeah, they're all in there. They do have some definitely different names for them. So Ruben, stop playing. Oh, that's Lugo. Stop playing around. So here we go with our price menus here. All right, we've got these price menus. How are we going to charge for beard designs? Well, we probably have to decide if we're going to be having a partial beard design or a full beard design, or maybe just a mustache, maybe just a neckline, or some outlines and definitions. So if you're outlining the forehead, or you're just outlining around the ears, the facial hair, and the back of the head. These are some of the things that are going to make a difference in your price points of where you're going to start. You can't just charge the same price for somebody that you're just charging a mustache trim on and then going to the back of the neck only and charging the same price as someone that's getting a full beard or a full shave. You can't do that. So you have a partial beard. Let me share my screen with you guys. What's slow today?
What are we learning today? Oh, what's up, boy? Look at you with your hairs. You better brush that.
I know. I was in Miss Jamie's class, like, wait, I'm in the wrong class. Hold up.
Dude, I hella hopped on that class too. I was like, oh, wait, times no.
Everybody's like, hey, I'm like, bang.
Yeah, I was like, no.
I think I'm going to do ponytails. We'll see.
Oh my God. Do it right now, please. Miss Connor, I'm trying to understand what we're going to learn today. I'm sorry.
Okay, let me get it and I will be right here where we're at.
All right, got Steam.
I've almost got it pulled up right here.
I'm on the road trying to learn at the same time.
Okay.
Cheers.
Working on a weekend like usual. Lay off in the deep end like usual.
Hey, turn that on.
Niggas sweating past us, they doing too much. Haven't done my taxes, I'm too turned up.
Okay. All right, so here we are now. Let me share my screen. Okay, so when we're getting ready for like a partial beard shave, we're just like a goatee would be a partial beard. A full mustache, what are we trying to do with the full mustache? We need to check out the texture and density We need to check out the length and the width of the nose, the width of the mouth, the shape of the area above the jaw and the upper lip, the width of the client's cheeks, jawline, and chin, and then client's personal taste. Most people are just going to tell you like, this is what I want, and you'll just go from there and go by what they say. Okay, a goatee, again, it's personal. Some like them square, some like them round, you know, so there's a lot of other things to look at when you go to design your beard here. But we want to make sure that we also look at the cheek line and the jawline, you know, make sure that those stay even on both sides. Also sideburns, that has a lot to do with it. When we get to the sideburn area and the back of the neck itself. And remember at state board during the haircut, you have to shave the back of the head. So, I mean, the back of the neck, sorry. You have to shave the back of the neck. So we want to make sure that we pay really close attention to all the hairlines and the strokes that we have to use when we shave the back of the neck. So when we're getting ready to do an actual shave itself, what are we doing with this? Well, these are the steps that are included. And I know that there's written questions on these that talk about the steps when using a wet razor, not a dry razor, but a wet razor. We have to do our lathering, or we have to do our preparation, our lathering, our shaving, and our post-shave treatment. When we're talking about preparation, preparation is the first lather and steam towel. That's how we prep this. Lathering again to actually shave it, shaving, and post-shave treatment. I know you all know how to do this when it comes down to actually sitting down with someone and doing this, but if I was to ask you to name the steps, or if you had a test question about the steps, would you be able to pass that question? And so this is why, you know, we need to pay attention to this stuff, because this is where some of the things get missed. So lathering the face, right? What's the purpose of a lather? Well, a lather does have a cleansing agent in it. The purpose is to cleanse the skin of any bacteria that may be on that skin, or any like foreign things that we don't want on the skin. It softens the skin and it lifts the hair as it's lifting the hair being ready to be shaved. And that's our whole purpose of lathering. Is to also to give us some, what I want to call it. We want to create a smooth surface to shave across, and that's what we're doing with lathering. Shaving itself, we want to make sure that we're stretching and holding the skin taut by using the fingers of the one hand, so like our finger and our thumb of our opposite hand, making sure that that stays dry at all times so that we can stretch the skin as needed. Okay, we also want to keep the skin moist while we're shaving. Any excess lather that we get on our fingers that's going to allow our fingers to slip off the skin, we need to make sure that we dry it off. And then when we finish with the service, we want to make sure that we apply a warm towel to remove any residual lather that might be on there. You can apply a cool towel, or you can apply a toner. Toners are good because they're going to remove any excessive product or any extra product that might be left on the skin, and just help kind of bring that skin's pH, you know, a little bit lower, so that we haven't made it super angry, right? We want to gently put some moisturizer or some oil control lotion, whatever the case may be, to gently massage that into the skin when we're finished. And if the skin looks too oily or too shiny, you can lightly dust the skin with talcum powder, and that will help remove that desired shine and create more of a matte finish if that's what the client is looking for. So we have our first time over shave and we have our second time over shave. And with those two types of standard shaves, those are the 4 steps that are involved in that. So remember those steps, because that's what you're going to have to remove. So we talked about draping and steaming. I kind of went through this a little bit faster. Apply our toner. Okay. So the first time over shave is performed after the hair has been lathered. So you've prepped, you've steamed, you removed that steam towel. Well, you've prepped, you lathered, you steamed, you removed that towel, and then now you've re-lathered. And we're getting ready to do our first time over shave. The primary purpose is to remove the hair hair without irritation. And this shave is definitely shaven in the direction of the hair growth. So with the grain of the hair only. That's just first time over. Okay. The second time over is performed after you've done the first time over. Sometimes it's known as the second pass. The purpose of this is to help go back over spots that may feel uneven or that were missed during the first time over shave. This is like the finishing part of this, not the finishing part, but this is like making sure that it's like checking your shave. There we go. Okay. So this one is shaved, and this is the tricky part against this. The second time over shave is with and or across the grain, using a freehand stroke only, not using all of the other strokes that we have, but only the freehand stroke. This once over shave is perfect for people who visit the barbershop, weekly or daily. And its purpose is to leave the skin smooth without performing a close shave. Now, the close shave is when you go over it again, like the third time, basically. But this time with a close shave, you're going against the grain. So we want to make sure that we definitely have done the first time over shave, maybe the second time over shave before you even do a close shave. And a lot of people don't like a close shave because this is the one that can cause the most skin irritation. This is the one that could cause ingrown hairs. Pimply, breakouts. This is the shave that's going to cause that, is the close shave. So it's not really recommended, but it is an option for people who have that real tough skin and real tough hair. They like to go against the grain, but you always want to go with the grain first. If you're going to be doing a full head shave, means if you're shaving someone's head, you do the same type of preparation. You do the same thing you would do on the face, except now it's on the head, but you really have to pay attention to the bones, where that parietal ridge is at, where that occipital bone is protruding. How about in the temporal area? Does it dip in or does it stick out a little bit? Because those are some of the areas that you could cut someone. And actually, I thought it was kind of easy doing a full head shave, but the couple guys that I've actually shaved their whole head, they had nice head to work with. So it wasn't really hard. So then we have the beard. So when you guys are practicing on your mannequin heads, pay attention to where you're putting this lather. A man's beard grows on his cheeks, chin, and neck. They don't really grow too much beard underneath your eyeballs. They don't really grow the beard, too much next to their nose. But I've seen some lather and some things during practice that shaving cream was put in areas where beards usually don't grow too much. So pay attention to that when you're lathering that face, because when you go to state board, you're going to be doing it on your mannequin head. And if you're just putting lather in places where hair doesn't normally grow, it's a possibility that you could be getting some points marked off because it's not realistic. So we want to really watch out for that. So partial beards, goatees and mustaches. There's a goatee there. Now, a goatee actually can make the appearance of a weak lip or chin. It makes it look longer, more elongated. Right? You can change the look of someone's face with this. Mustaches, thicker is better for large features, thinner is better for small features. Okay, but make sure that you look at all of the client's facial features. Outlines and definitions. Do they want it rounded in the back corner back here by their jaw, or do they want it square? A lot of that depends on the facial shape that the guy currently has. And they're probably not going to know too much of the difference if you ask them, do you want it round or do you want it square? Sometimes the guys might just tell you, do what you think looks best. So that's going to mean proper analysis on what you're actually doing. Look at the cheeks versus the ear. Look for the definition. Check out those faces. And in the neckline, that's where these lines are going. We want to make sure that we keep those lines nice and clean. or just an outline. Who came in? We're gonna leave us and come back. Sideburns. And use the facial features for sideburns. Okay. So when we're shaving our neck, it says always check for hypertrophies, such as warts and moles prior to shaving. So hypertrophies is the word that you'll see in your skin chapter. And obviously now it's in the shaving chapter. What that just means is that it's some type of a growth that is not flat, it's extending above the skin line. But a neck shave includes, and I know this is a test question, what is included in a neck shave? A neck shave includes behind the ears and on both sides of the neck. Okay, the nape hairline. So before beginning the service, check out those necks and hairlines, look for those things, just don't start shaving. Right, so shave the facial hair, change the way the guy looks. Same thing with the haircut too, right? So true or false, shaving is used to create the visual illusion that changes the shape and the contours of the face. I'm pretty much gonna say like, yeah. Shaving is the removal of hair from the face and or neck using a bladed implement without causing irritation to the skin. I'm gonna say, yeah, too. Russian Tsar Peter the Great. Encouragement to shave by imposing a tax on, and that's probably gonna be beards. The jaw and chin of an inverted triangle or a heart-shaped face can appear wider and less elongated. Oh, I'm terrible. I don't know that one. Anyone know that one? An infection found on the face and neck in which the area surrounding the hair follicle is inflamed with redness and pustules is called Barber's itch, or, and I'm going to go with folliculitis, pseudofolliculitis barbae is probably that one is what I'm thinking. Could just be folliculitis. Okay, let's see. Hairline shapes are determined by what? Hair growth. Curly and tightly curled hair textures are more prone to ingrown hairs. To leave skin smooth but not perform a close shave is the goal of the once over shave. Shaving against the grain during the second time over shave is known as a close shave. Beards can be used to balance the appearance of a client's face. Let's see if I got what I got right. Bald's, what? True beards, oh, full beard. There we go. Folliculitis. Oh, it's just folliculitis barbae, okay.
Told you.
Okay. Hair growth pattern. Ingrown hairs, first time over shave, close shaving, facial features. All right, so after the chapter, you see all this stuff down here? This, so we finish these, check what you knows. And then you come down here and you have these theory review. These are all the things that you should have got out of this chapter that we have here, the beginning points of this chapter that we have here. So these are some of the things that we should know. Clean shaven look, because you don't know what's going to be on your test. You don't know what questions you're going to get. So these are just talks about client analysis, shaving and beard design overview, all of this great, wonderful things. So check those out, because when I say study for your test, be looking at that stuff. It's going to help you out a lot when it comes to studying. Your workbook will help you for studying for a test, and your terms will help you study for a test. Okay, so now we're gonna go into tools.
I don't see anything. It's just black on the screen.
I probably have to stop sharing and then go back and share with you again. Let me get this back up real quick. Okay, stop share. And then let me come back over here and start share again.
Okay, now I see you.
Okay, can you see it now?
Yes.
Okay. So now we're going to talk about the tools that you're going to use and the things that you're going to need for shaving and beard design. Okay, so one thing about tools, there's a million different ones out there, right? You may have, and you're going to have more than one. Not that you may have, you're going to have more than one. So make sure, you're going to have your favorites, and then you're going to have some that you just use for, certain types of hair maybe. So different tools could have different effects on the hair, and it can impact your final results. So make sure that when you go to buy something, like especially a razor, make sure it feels great in your hand, good in your hand. Make sure you know what type of hair that this blade is supposed to work best on, because some will actually say that they work better for coarser, thicker hair or finer hair. But make sure, some of them don't say it, but some of them I've actually seen a couple that do. So make sure that you really pay close attention to that, because some of these tools, if you've priced them, you know that they're expensive. So when you're getting ready to shave, you have razors, clippers, combs, shears, outliners, and the electric shavers, right? My bald fader says, you love it when Ruben loves it when I call them that. Foil shavers, I think, or foil shaver is actually what they're really called, but our book's saying that they're electric shavers. So that's what we have. Okay, so razor is a sharp tool, very sharp, that cuts closest to the skin. So what they're showing you is a conventional straight razor here. This actually has no blade. That whole top portion from the shoulder and the heel to the head and the point is actually a blade. This is the ones that they would use to hone and strop, but this is the actual picture of one and all of the different parts. Some states, this may still be legal to use, but not in California. In California, we have to have a disposable blade. So this conventional straight razor is composed of a blade that is either stainless steel or carbon steel. The quality of the razor is determined by the temper, the balance, the grind, the finish, and the size. That right there, the grind, the balance, the temper, you need to know what all of those definitions mean. Okay, so the temper is the manner in which the heat is used to treat the blade as it's manufactured. So when they talk about, how they make it, the heat, like the forging, if you've ever watched that show Forged in Fire, you've seen how they make knives and stuff like that. Well, they use the heat to melt the steel to put the finish on the edges of it. That's how they're talking about the temper. That's how it's manufactured. The balance is determined by the length and weight of the blade in relation to the handle. So how does it feel? Is it weighted or is it top heavy or backside heavy? But that's how they determine the balance, the length and weight of the blade in relation to the handle. Pretty sure I saw that on a test question too. The grind is like the finish on the edge of the razor itself. So when they talk about the grind, there's different, well, as you can see, there's 4 different ones, right? You have a concave grind. It comes in a full concave grind or half concave grind or a quarter concave grind. You have a wedge, which is a true wedge grind. then you see the quarter and the true wedge. So those are how they come when you're getting a conventional straight razor. So with our conventional straight razors, we clean, we strop, we apply oil, we don't drop. So those are the things that need to be done so that you can keep these razors in like the ultimate care. I actually have a couple of razors like this. Yeah, they're really sharp. Well, they're probably dull by now, but they were really sharp in the beginning. But the changeable blade razors, which is what we have to use in our state, and we don't require stropping or honing. All we do is require that the blade gets changed after each client and the razor gets disinfected. But sometimes during a shave, depending on the type of hair that the client actually has, we may have to change that razor blade during the shave itself. So we may have to have a couple extra blades if the hair is really coarse. So a honing stone is just that. It is a stone. It's made out of a natural ingredient or a synthetic ingredient, or sometimes there's both. One side to it may be natural, the other side to it may be synthetic. Okay, natural ones are also referred to as wheat stones or water stones. They're manufactured in various grits, kind of like sandpaper, and they will provide varying degrees of speed and effectiveness. And you usually always use them with water. And when you first buy a stone like this, it's usually recommended that you soak it in water for like 24 hours. I guess it just kind of like primes it before you actually use it. And you always want to make sure that when you're using it, that it is wet. Like you dip your blade in water frequently and kind of, use that on the circular motion to do this. The synthetic ones, they're manufactured, they're synthetically, they work faster than natural hones, and you can use these wet or dry. So the natural ones are only wet, the synthetic ones can be wet or dry. And then a combination is one side is used to attain appropriate cutting edge, which would be like a synthetic. The other side is used to refine that edge, which would be a natural. So then you have three types of strops. You have a hanging strop, a loom strop, and a paddle strop. Okay, these are used to smooth that edge out, remove any of those rough little pieces that might be left on it after it's been sharpened. So this just kind of like polishes the blade out. So the hanging one's the most popular one because you can hang it on something, like you can make it fixed to it and it would be easier to use. Be easier when you pull it out too, because it's stuck to something. The loom, you put it on flat surfaces. So you just like lay it flat on a table, and it's not very common. And the paddle one is the same way, you lay it down. So strops are made of either leather or canvas. Okay, and when it comes to that, there are different types that are made. So canvas, it is available as a single strop or a canvas side of a combination strop. Most of the time when you see them, you see leather on one side and canvas on the other. Okay, silk or linen woven into a fine or coarse texture. It's ideal for removing the metal burrs or imbrications left after razor honing. Okay, the shell strop is considered to be the best strop to use. Okay, the material is taken from the muscular area of a horse's rump. So there you go. Shell comes from a horse's rump. It's very high quality and it's very expensive. But you do have to like prepare it before you use it. So you always have to follow manufacturer's directions on that.
Okay, wait, question. Horses' butt, like, is it when the horse is dead already, or do they specifically kill the horse just for this piece?
I would hope that it's after the horse is dead already. I really don't know, but I really hope that they don't just kill a horse for that. I don't really know the answer to that. But the Russian strop is considered one of the best ones to use. It's usually made from cowhide, And it is prepared with the Russian method of tanning the hide there. And I'll always follow manufacturer's directions again. Okay. So there's questions. You can guarantee it 100% that there's going to be questions about honing, stropping, conventional razors versus just changeable blade razors. You can almost guarantee it that you're going to have test questions like that. Okay. So of course, you know, we use shears, right? We use shears for beards. We use shears for hair. Shears produce a clean, blunt edge. Okay. You can use shear over comb. You can groom eyelashes with them. But a lot of times, like when I do eyelashes, I have a really small pair that I like to use. So it really depends on the type of hair that you have. But, you know, they're easier. So shorter blades for more precision work, longer blades for shear over comb techniques. So the way you put the client when you go to work on the beard depends on what you're trying to do. Personally, I think it's really hard to lay the client back as far as they are in the picture here. I think it's extremely hard, maybe at about a 45-degree angle, but not, you know, at a 90-degree angle like that. But how comfortable is it for you? It might be comfortable for you to lay the client back like that. You know, so work where it is comfortable for the client and comfortable for you. Okay, we use clippers, right? We can use blade attachments. We can use outliners or trimmers to sort of get that line going in there. We can use the electric shavers. One thing with electric shavers though, if the hair is not, and I forgot the actual amount of hair that has to be left, but if you go to put it over hair that's longer, it's not going to cut. So the hair has to be cut a certain length before the electric shavers will even work. And it's pretty short. Okay. When we're using combs, the Barber taper comb is a really good one to use for eyebrows. It's really good to use around, you know, ears or just in places where you can't get a regular cutting comb in. The Barber taper comb is the one that you want to go to. And then the pick, of course, for someone who has tightly curled or tighter or curlier hair. Okay. So now we're going to get into our supplies. Okay. You have your disposable supplies. You have your supplies that have to be like products, and then you'll have equipment. Equipment for sure is going to have to be sanitized and disinfected. State Board came down with some new sanitation guidelines now, and we'll talk about those when you guys get here on things that have to be used now to be, you know, COVID killers. So we want to make sure that we're using the correct products when we're doing our cleanup and our disinfection. So products, they range from liquids to solids. They can be shaving soaps, pre-shave oil, lotions, shave cream, shave gel, post-shave lotion, post-shave balm, post-shave powder, beard oil, beard balm, beard conditioner, softener, beard wash shampoo, alum. Anyone know what alum or styptic powder does? Anyone have any idea what alum or styptic powder does?
It sets up the moisture, right?
No, but if you cut someone or you get cut, it'll stop the bleeding. Okay.
Oh yeah, that's what I was going at.
Yeah, it's those little powder things that we have here. Alum is also a spice. You can buy that like in the grocery store where they have the sell the spices. I don't know what they use it for because, you know, I don't bake like that, but it's there. And cologne. Johnny B's and Crew both have an aftershave like cologne that you can spray on, but I think the Johnny B's one smells way better than the Crew, but they do smell good. I'm sure other brands make them too. Those are just the only ones that I'm aware of. So equipment that might be necessary for shaving are going to include your barber chair, your barber station, your steamer cabinet or hot towel cabinet, your latherizer, if you choose to use an electric latherer, which we do have one here, and your sharps container. Sharps container is a must now. So those of you that are shaving around without a sharps container, you got to get one. Put those used razor blades in. Okay. So true or false, razors cut closest to the skin.
True.
The temper of the razor is determined by the length and weight of the blade in relation to the handle.
True.
No, that one's going to be a false one. The temper, remember, that's the heat on which the blade is forged. A properly balanced razor maintains even, I'm going to say that's probably weight. The two main types of grinds are the concave and the wedge. To sharpen the edge of a razor blade, use and probably gonna say a hone. To smooth the polish of the edge of the razor blade, use a strop. To apply lather to the face or head, some areas do not allow the use of, I'm gonna say that would be a lathering brush. Clippers can be used to cut hair faster than shears. Trimmers, also known as outliners or edgers, are used to outline and refine the hairline, beard, mustache, and neck. Electric shavers are used instead of a straight razor, particularly on clients that are prone to, that's going to be ingrown hairs. So if you do have a client that has ingrown hairs, cut it down with the clipper and use the electric razor, because the little foil shavers or the electric shavers or the balders, as we sometimes call them, they get really close. Okay, true, false. Oh, pressure. Pressure, not weight. Wedge, hone, strop, lather brush, shears, sideburns, ingrown hairs. Okay, so going back to that lather brush, you can use a lather brush, but you can only use it one time and then it has to be disinfected. So that might be something to think about. So tools again, clippers. It's one of the most frequently used tools, right? So we want to make sure that we, don't drop them, which yikes, it happens unfortunately. But we want to make sure that we do routine maintenance on these so that we prolong the life of our clippers. Sharpening. How do you know when you need to sharpen your clipper blade?
When the hair gets pulled, isn't it?
Yeah, when it gets pulled, when it stops cutting, the way you
Or when
want.
you hear that,
Sometimes when you hear that noise though, that just means you need to clean your clippers a little bit more, do some maintenance, do some service on them. Because sometimes those little bitty hairs, especially somebody that has really fine hair, those little hairs will get in between the blades as they're going back and forth, and it makes this horrible sound. But it doesn't always mean that, there's something wrong with it, but it's kind of like what happens. Okay, so razors cut closest to the skin. Two types of straight razors, right? Conventional razor, which is known as an open blade, or a disposable razor. A hone sharpens the edge of the razor blade. A strop is a flexible material used to clean, smooth, and polish the edge of the blade by removing metal pieces and realigning the edge. Commonly used strops are canvas strop, shell strop, and Russian strop. Shears produce a clean blunt edge. Clippers can be used to cut hair faster than shears. Outliners, trimmers, or edgers are used to outline and refine the hairline, beard, mustache, and sideburns. Electric shavers are tools that may be used by barbers instead of straight razors, particularly on clients that are prone to ingrown hairs. Combs are used to distribute hair when performing facial hair designs. Shaving and beard supplies include disposable items such as neck strips and reusable items such as towels and capes. Shaving and beard design equipment include furnishings such as hot towel cabinets, latherizers, sharps containers, barber chairs, and shampoo bowls necessary for professional shaving and beard design. Okay, so. Anyone need a shave? Let your beard grow. Let it grow. We want to make sure that, yeah, let it grow for when we come back.
Give me like 24 hours. I'll make it.
We'll see you on Thursday. Can you still see the screen I'm on? Nick, are you awake? Can you see my screen? Give me a thumbs up if you can. Okay. Julian, I cannot see you. Are you still with us? Julian, you still there? No, okay, got to keep your camera on. All right, so when we get ready to shave someone, we have to take all these different considerations into play here. Are we just shaving their head? Are we just shaving their face? Are we doing a combination of a haircut and a beard trim? Do they have a goatee? Do they have just a beard? Do they have a mustache? Do they have a soul patch? Like, what do they have? So those are some considerations that we all have to take into consideration, right? How much knowledge, training, and practice do you think it takes to be skillful at performing facial hair services? Yeah, you got to know. Also, what about the person's features? You know, some people have really small lips, and trying to get in underneath their nose to shave their upper lip is extremely hard. Some people's skin may have acne scars, and you might feel like you are just scraping the heck out of their skin, or that their hair is not going to cut. When I first started shaving, that scraping noise that it made, or that scraping feeling, as it's like you feel like you're scraping someone's skin. Oh, I did not like that at all. I used to be like, no, this can't be right. That can't be doing that to someone. But then I found that if you just use a different product and put some oil first, and then you put some shaving gel over the top of that, it just softens the skin up a little bit more with the towel, and that noise goes away. So we have to be able to analyze all of that. So you should be able to describe the procedures used to perform facial shaving, describe the procedures used to perform head shaving, and describe the procedures used for beard services. So remember those 4 steps, right? Preparation, lathering, shaving, post-shaving treatment. Those are the steps that we're going to do. That's only 4. Okay, so before you start, we're going to drape. We are going to analyze the skin. We are going to use our steam towels, and we're going to have our pre-shave lotion or oil. Remember when someone says, oh, you have a shave coming in, or a shave is here, you need to make sure we've got those steam towels prepared. It does take a minute or 2 for the steamer to heat up and those towels to be ready. So during that time, before you even, get your client, get your towels made. Make sure your steam towels are made, which we'll go over. Some of you may need a refresher on that. So we'll go over that. Some of you might not have ever had it. Okay, so there's all these ways to drape someone. We don't have to secure the drape around the back of their neck because they're getting ready to be shaved. And a lot of times we do shave down on the neck. So the first picture on the left, the 1, 2, 3, we may lay the drape over the client's chest because they're laying back at about a 45-degree angle, and then place this towel over the top of the drape. Or if they're wearing clothing that may restrict you, you can place the towel down first, then place the drape on, and then place a second towel over the top and tuck that into the drape. That's really all going to depend on the client. Sometimes that second towel is a little too bulky. So it just really depends on the client. But always make sure that the headrest is covered, which just means lay a towel across that headrest. When you recline that chair back, the chair needs to be in an upright position when your client sits down, and you can recline that back at 45 degrees, but make sure that you have something covering that headrest. Okay, that's a must. Cover that headrest. There's no leniency on that one. That has to be covered. Okay, bring the towel, bring the cake, bring the second towel if necessary, but make sure it's covered, and make sure that you're sanitizing your hands and your wrist. Okay. You can do a skin analysis. You can wear gloves. You don't have to in our state, but you can if you choose to. So make sure that you analyze the skin, just like you analyze the head. We're going to look for anything that doesn't look normal. Texture of the skin. Some people have thick skin, some people have fine skin. We're going to look at the hair growth patterns, or maybe even the grain changes. So just, the hair grow up on one side and down on the other. Those are some of the things that we need to look for. Oil glands to provide lubrication. You can put more than one steam towel on if someone seems to have a lot of coarse hair. You can use 2 steam towels. You can use as many as necessary, but do put your product on first because it just helps aid in the softening of that skin. They do have pre-shave. It just seems the hair a little bit softer. You can apply it prior to putting lather on. It says after the steam towel, but I kind of like it with the steam towel. You combine it with lather. You can combine them with soap, gel, cream, but it just sort of gives an extra layer of protection on the skin and softens the hair a little bit more.
Miss Connie, you're breaking up.
Reduces that irritation. 3 fingers.
Yeah, you're still sounding like a mixtape.
3. A mixtape?
Yeah, or like a remix to the song. Now you're just frozen.
Happens here. How about now? Okay, because you were frozen too for a minute right after you said that. Okay, so when you go to lather someone's face, you're probably going to use about, your first 3 fingers, maybe 4, depending on how wide of a face they have. But it's a circular motion. Okay, we're not going to really rub it vigorously. We're using our fingertips of our hands, and we're just going to kind of rub this on. We don't want to rub it into the skin, but we want to make sure that we get enough on there to where it's going to look like you have not like you rubbed lotion on the skin, like you've actually put some frosting on the skin there. Okay, so these lathers, they come in soaps, they come in creams, they come in gels that will lather up, right? So make sure you use the cushion of your fingertips. The cushion of the fingertips are from the tip of your fingers down to your first knuckle. That's your cushion. That's what you want to use. Apply it with a circular motion. Okay, if you're using a brush, you want to make sure that that disinfected brush is immersed in warm water for 1 to 2 minutes before loading the brush with lather. It's going to kind of soften the bristles, the warm water. Apply to the face using a circular motion. Everything's in a circle, right? So 2 most common areas for shaving: head shave, face shave. The grain of the hair is the direction in which the hair grows. Okay, it grows out of the skin. That's going to determine the razor position and stroke that you use while shaving. Okay, so that's why they have those 14 zones with those 14 shave strokes. But when we're working on a client, we're still going to use the 14 zones, but we're going to go with the direction of the hair growth. So those are 14 face zones. Okay, so zones 1 and 6. Okay, that's the sideburn to the jawbone and angle of the mouth. Zones 2 and 7, it's the angle of the mouth to the point of the chin. Zones 3 and 8, the center of the upper lip to the corner of the mouth. Zones change. The chin, left to right or right to left. Zone 12 is under chin to grain change. Zone 13 is the center of the neck to the grain change, and zone 14 is under the lower lip. So I think everyone's right-handed that's on here, right? Even though you only have to do the first 5, which is the right side of the face or the left side shave. I had to do a whole.
Oh, what happened?
I lost you for a second. Guess that was like our last call, huh? So about 5 minutes. Okay. So we're holding our razor. The blade to the skin is held at about a 35 degree. I change that angle maybe depending on the area of the skin. Razor cuts hair with the point of the razor leading. If your test question asked you what part of the razor do you lead with, you put your answer as being point. So the strokes that we use for shaving are freehand, backhand, reverse freehand, and reverse backhand. So each shaving zone is shaved using a specific shaving position and stroke. And the reason why they say that is for your areas of the, wait, what am I trying to say? The zone that they have at State Board are, written down for you. But this is why they have them written down too, is because if you have a perfect, world, those are the strokes that are going to give you the best results in those zones of the face. Okay, so you also have to know how to do them all. So freehand is gliding towards you, backhand is gliding away from you. Reverse freehand is semi-arced towards you. Reverse backhand is short cutting strokes gliding downward and slightly outward. You will have to demonstrate all of these at state board. Hand is going to be done on the back left side of your neck. Freehand and back, you may choose all 4 of those, just depending on which. Okay, so I keep losing you, so we'll just stop right here. Now, before we go, this is 1 hour of shaving. A lot of you need shaving. Remember, that, okay, so reach out to you. This class gives you 1 hour of shaving theory. And I do note that a lot of you need shaving theory on your time cards because I was doing them. So those papers have some additional things for you to do. Do those, text in and say, hey, I'm starting my homework now. When you get done with that and you finish your homework, text in and say, I'm finished. You got 5 hours left. Bring the work with you when you come in on Thursday. And that way we can give you 6 hours in shaving credit for today and tomorrow after we finish the theory tomorrow. Okay, any questions on that? No? All right. So Alejandro, I will get that homework assignment text out to you, okay? All right, so I will see you guys tomorrow. And Junior, bring me some food when you come in on Thursday because I see you cooking. All right, you guys have a safe day and I'll see you guys tomorrow. Bye.